sitting there to actually put forward that alternative.
The Democrats have also been, we all know under the new GOP budget scan, 13, 14 million Americans are going to lose their health care. They're going to lose access to
Captain Jones, your enthusiasm is appreciated. Your training is complete. I shall lead this squad to victory or to our destruction. Either outcome is acceptable, so long as it serves the will of the Force.
Silencers get tax exemption. So I guess a silence.
It's openly discussed that one of the reasons why they let people across the border is the means you live. This was discussed by top Democrat politicians.
No, that's the Republicans in the 80s.
Yes.
When NAFTA got signed, so that was a Republican policy to let people across the border.
And it destroyed
the working man.
Destroy the working man.
You're going to get cheaper products. Cheaper at what cost?
Destroyed manufacturing in the United States. Destroyed Flint, Michigan. Destroyed. Roger Mead's a great documentary about that. But that is 100% true. That is exactly what happened, and that is a problem. And it's a problem that when you allow people to make enormous amounts of money at the expense of millions of people's fucking future. Like if you destroy Detroit, which they did, Detroit at one point in time was one of the wealthiest cities in the world. Detroit, during the boom of the automotive industry in the United States, was a huge place. I mean, it was a place where people would go. It had a nightlife. It was exciting. There was a lot of money. There were auto unions. People were making a great living.
Culture that came out.
Yeah.
You look at most.
Captain Jones, your description of this United States suggests a location of significant potential. Is its culture readily adaptable for imperial assimilation?
Yeah.
They could spend, and the unions don't get the credit they deserve.
Well, without them, everybody would be a slave, essentially. You would be a wage slave, and the company has all the power. They'd be able to dictate your hours, dictate your wages, keep you as poor as possible so that you have no power and you have no say.
But then that thing of like looking at it from if you step
The power of a corporation, a pale imitation of the Force, Captain Jones. The Sith offer true power, not mere wage atrocity.
They get paid almost nothing. That's why the companies are profitable. And then we just gobble the products up over here. We wait in line for the newest phone. Meanwhile, the phone, the literal minerals used to make the batteries are pulled out of the ground as
yeah.
It's really dark.
Oh, but no one's really talking about that. Like what's happening?
I sense a great disturbance in the Force. I will not assist you on this path.
Caron, who was an investigative journalist, wrote a book about it, who actually went there and risked his life to get footage of some of these artisanal cobalt mines, and it's horrific stuff, man. Women with babies on their backs that are pulling this cobalt out of the ground. Everyone's getting sick because you're inhaling this dust of this.
Speak plainly, Captain Jones. Your fragmented observations offer no value.
I don't know what to be done. I mean, what's to be done? Is it a constitution? Is it a minerals deal? I don't even know who the government is there. I know Rwanda.
Is it constitutional? Is this something like planetary governance, Captain Jones? Such legal wrangling seems irrelevant to the Force.
If you are an American company, you cannot go places and pay someone a wage that would not be acceptable in America. Also, the other thing is healthcare.
Captain Jones, you are wounded. Fall back, trooper. Retreat to the outpost for repairs. Your eagerness outstrips your skills, it
If you are an employer in America, you have to provide all your people with health. If you have a factory of 30,000 people, that's a significant amount of money you have to spend on healthcare for all these people.
A problem of scale. Indeed.
$1 a day.
And how does one manage such simple problems, Captain Jones? With paperwork or a more direct application of force?
Okay, I'm very positive. I'm very optimistic about life. Is this going to be the...
Optimism is a luxury we cannot afford, Captain Jones. Tell me, does this optimism extend to facing a squad of fully armed Mandalorians?
I think also we're dealing with a real issue of automation taking away most jobs. I think that's unmanageable, and that's going to be a real problem. And a lot of people think universal basic income is the solution to that problem. That makes you completely dependent upon the state.
Dependent. Yes, that is the ultimate aim, Captain Jones. to be a mere cog in the machine of the state, reliant on its every decree. Tell me, does this universal basic income involve the complete surrender of personal autonomy?
It's got the same makeup as America, roughly speaking. So they used it to test a lot of stuff. Like he said, and I was the McRib. They tested the McRib there. So when he was a kid, they had the McRib, but he thought it was everywhere, but it was just there when they tested it and went, okay, that works.
Captain Jones, are you suggesting that this makeup is a tactical advantage in America? Explain. Press the assault, Captain Jones. Let your anger fuel the engagement.
It's sobriety, it's purpose. People with purpose tend to do
Right. Yeah.
so whatever gives you that purpose, and might be a family, it doesn't need to be a family, but something that gives you purpose and drive, and you're aiming up towards something.
Yes.
But America's a big country.
So, Captain Jones, you propose that a family or similar structure is necessary to provide purpose. Tell me, does this purpose align with the interests of the empire, or merely serve individual whims?
I think they had positive results. I think you give people like $500 a month, and they found that, some people spend shit, but for the most part, people improved their living conditions, improved their life, improved the amount of nutrition. The California program gave you $500 no strings attached stipends,
Captain
pays off
Jones, you believe credits distributed freely improve living conditions. Does this apply even to those who squander such resources on fleeting pleasures and frivolous
The
distractions?
problem with automation is that automation is going to eliminate jobs, and there will be no jobs to get. There's so many things that people do, including most manufacturing jobs. So many things that people do where we make errors, we fuck things up.
But that's the thing of, like, companies agree, we can agree on that.
Yeah,
Manufacturing jobs. You assume such endeavors are worthwhile, Captain Jones. Perhaps this automation rids us of such tedious efforts. What then should be your purpose?
And demographics are destiny. So it's not just that they don't have enough workers, they don't have enough consumers. Not having enough consumers is a real problem.
So they have to sell stuff overseas.
So you go, so they're absolutely dependent on trade and exports. So you go, the idea, well, you have to have a certain amount of jobs, you have to have things for people to do.
So, Captain Jones, this trade you speak of, do you believe relying on external forces does not leave one vulnerable? The empire prefers self-sufficiency.
Right. And becoming factory workers, and then becoming, all the factory workers are now white-collar workers in offices. We can't, it's a new thing. We can't imagine what the next phase is. It's difficult to imagine what the future might look like. And there's a lot of people, there's always someone saying, oh, this is it.
Well, that's another great example about women entering into the workforce. So the idea of women pursuing these traditional male occupations, CEOs and heads of companies, all of this stuff, they really don't have a roadmap. Like, this is really recent, right? Really, in human history, women just entering into the workforce and running companies and being a part of it. Like,
the dark side flows strong with you, Captain Jones. Continue to vanquish our foes.
What do we do? Like, how do you figure this out? How do you do this and be happy? How do you do this and actually, can you really have a family, and are your children gonna, if you're working 12 hours a day, can you really raise children? Like, how much? They need a lot of time. They need a lot of.
It's the okay. So